In this Volume 2 of the Building and Painting series, we will be continuing with the build of the new Meng's Type 96B. On the Step 7, we'll be building the tracks of the model. In this case, Meng came up with an idea to provide a crisp vinyl tracks and use plastic parts to detail the central guide pins, so we have the best combinations possible. They are pretty easy to get done with. First, we have to cut the central pins for the A sprues. Remember to remove the injection parts on the vinyl track too. This can be done by carefully cutting the marks with a sharp knife. After, use some putty to get a flat surface. Then, we only have to put the central pins in place and use some plastic glue to do the job. Once it's dry, we can cut the sprue and sand the external part. That's simple. Linking the two parts is also not complicated. We put together the parts and apply some glue. When the inner part is done, we move the external part and finish the job. Now, we glue the final central pins and it's done. On the Step 8, we have to put the tracks in place. To help with that, we can remove the sprocket wheel, place the track and insert the sprocket after that. Easy enough. The step number 9 has several sub-assemblies. We'll be building part of the upper hull like the frontal lights and the periscopes. Here we have some photo-etch parts that we will have to bend following the instructions. Before gluing the clear parts to their supports, we painted the background using AK798 gunmetal where they will be placed. Otherwise, we are going to see the plastic color of the hull once the model is painted. Be careful with the superglue and apply only a small amount when dealing with photo-etched. On this step, and considering that we are doing the C version of this model, we will need to remove one of the plastic cables that are molded to the hull. First, we remove the plastic cable using a flat knife. Make a steel pressure and move the knife so it slowly cuts the plastic. Control the pressure and the movement at any time. Always try to remove as much of the cable as you can with the knife without removing the anti-squeeze surface. Once we're done removing the plastic, we will have to give texture to those parts we've worked on. We are going to use the AK Putty Normal. Apply with the very same knife some of the putty over the surface, trying to be accurate. We can remove any excess with a brush damped in water. We now let dry the putty for 2 or 3 minutes, and with the help of an old brush damped in water, we start heating the surface, giving texture. While the putty dries, we are going to glue all the sub-assemblies to the main hull. The rest of the front glasses parts are built in this step 10. First of all, we have to fill the 4 holes of the glasses, as we decided not to use the Aeroblock reactive armor. Instead, we'll be using the spare tracks configuration. Now that the putty is fully dry, it's time to sand it down a bit with 1000 sandpaper. The frontal fenders are built in this step, although we are not gluing them to the hole. This will make the painting of the trunks easier. On this step, we first build the engine air intakes. They are different depending on the version, so check it carefully. We also are going to glue the large grille of the rear hull. To do that, we first have to cut the grille of the support by using a sharp knife. Then, we use the lime to sand down any marks of the holders. Correct the form of the grille before gluing it. Once we have the grille ready, we apply some super glue on one of the corners and place the piece on the correct place. Let it dry for a few seconds and apply some more glue to one of the other corners. You'll need to hold the part you have already glued to do that. Finish gluing the grille and make sure you have placed it correctly. Some small holders of the rear hull and an optional piece for one of the sides are built in this small step. On the step 13, we'll need to glue the upper and lower parts in place. Always try the fitting before starting applying glue, so you make sure everything is fine. If everything is okay, you only need to apply glue and make pressure for some seconds. finish the construction of the hull, we will need to build and glue the rear part of it. We start with the rear parts and some small holders, gluing them on place. Then we can put the whole rear part in place and apply some glue. We finally built and glued the tow handles and the supports for the barrel drums. With these 14 steps, we have now the hull ready, and on the following video, we will be focusing on the turret. Stay tuned for more, and happy modeling!